part 2 of the video on the sine rule, special case scenarios. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about what do we need to look after when we are working with sine rule, because there could be two possible angles where the rule can satisfy. So before we even begin, if you have calculators, I want you to check some values for me. So have your calculators ready to go? So as you can see, sine 60 is 0.866. All right, 0.86, remember that. Then sine 120 is also 0.866. So between the range of 0 to 180 degrees, there are two possible angles where the sine of theta would be the same. I repeat that statement again. So there are two possible answers. That means there are two possible values of theta that can happen when you're working with sine theta between the angle choices of 0 degrees to 180 degrees. As I just gave an example, sine 60 is the same as sine 120. Okay, so that's why you will have two possible answers. So this happens if two sides and an angle that is not in between them come up in the problem. So not in between them means included side. Okay, so you have two angles and not included side, then you will have that situation. So take a look at this example. So instead of your triangle ABC, which is the most common letters that we have been using because of the formula, you can also use any other letter. But just make sure that you match up the angles and the opposite sides accurately into the formula. All right, that's the most important thing. So if you're starting with sine of r, then it should be over 41 because r and 41 are opposite to each other. Then if you're using 39, sine 39, then 28 should be the opposite. So set it up, cross multiply and divide. Then you end up sine r as this value, then inverse it, then you get the r. R is 67.1 degrees. But as I said, the sine is a peculiar situation between 0 to 180 degrees. There are two possible angles where this value satisfies. So you need to, all you have to do is, once you get this value, subtract it from 180. So 180 minus 67.1, then you get this angle, and then all you have to tell is the two possible answers where this ratio satisfy as per the sine rule are theta and 180 minus theta. So in this case 67.1 degrees and 180 minus 67.1, you ended up as 112.9. So if you can see, you substitute those values, you would still end up with the right sides and the right ratios. Alright guys, thanks for watching this. So this is how you sometimes get two solutions or one solution depending upon the angle. And when the side is in between the two expected angles, you get the normal sine ratios, that's included side or included angles. But when you have two angles and non-included side, you usually have two possible solutions. You just have to test it out and check. If the question specifically says what are the two possible answers, that means all you have to do is figure out the second angle by doing 180 minus the first angle. Alright, hopefully I clarified some of the questions on why there are two possible answers when you're working with sine rule and how do you figure out the other angle. Thanks guys, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful blessed day. Bye bye.